Mr. Speaker, sir, first of all, I want to thank you, or rather I have to thank you for giving me this privilege and time for calling attention to the matter of urgent public importance under Rule 54. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think I should give this credit to the Honorable Chief Minister, the leader of this House, for creating awareness because of the fact that this idea or this issue popped into my head the day he invited me and the UDA Chairman K.R. Zeleng over breakfast with Himanta Biswa, the Chief Minister of Assam. Over breakfast, I was impressed with the deep knowledge our Chief Minister and Himanta Biswa had on this oil exploration, its limitation and the urgent need. Because of this discussion, I had brought out this issue to be highlighted to this August House, as well as the HODs, head of departments, the fourth estate, that is the press and media, and also including any audience that is here, so that we initiate action in order to bring changes in our society, in our state, for the betterment and also upliftment of our society. Mr. Speaker, sir, the urgent need of resuming oil exploration and production activities in the state is the need of the hour. Out of many reasons due to the paucity of time, I would like to cite 3 points for the honorable members of this August House to ponder upon. I would like to provoke my own thoughts as well as the honorable members' thoughts. Firstly, exploration of oil is a time-consuming process. In India, oil and gas blocks are awarded by the central government through DGH, that is the Director General Hydrocarbon. And oil companies, after being awarded exploration blocks from GOI, makes an agreement for a committed work program. According to the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, and as per the PSC provisions under new exploration license policy, petroleum exploration license is granted for a period of 7 years in inland shallow water areas. I repeat, 7 years in inland shallow water areas and 8 years in deep water and frontier areas of exploration. Supposing we are to start the exploration, the study itself takes 7 to 8 years, Mr. Speaker, sir. Petroleum mining lease is normally awarded for 20 years for producing hydrocarbons as per Oil Field Regulation and Development Act 1948 and PNG Rules 1956. So this permit will be given for 20 years, but out of that, 7 to 8 years is given for only exploration and not selling. PEL and PML offshore exploration and production is granted by the Union government, and for inland blocks is granted by the concerned state government based on the recommendation made by the Union government for the awarded blocks. However, the PEL does not allow the oil companies to extract even a drop of oil for commercial purposes, but only for research and development purposes. I want to repeat this sentence. However, the PEL does not allow the oil companies to extract even a drop of oil for commercial purposes, but only for research. So these also, they don't give for exploration of even a drop of oil, but only for research purposes. So it is a time-taking process. Initial oil and gas exploration activities may be categorized as follows. There are 4 categories as to how this exploration license can be obtained and to go about with. Number 1, first is the license acquisition. Then after that comes the geological studies. Then comes the seismic acquisition and interpretation. Then last is drilling of exploratory wells. There are 4 processes, Mr. Speaker. after it is granted production and monetization, the assets can be done. Secondly, the special status of the Nagaland enjoys under the Article 71A of the Constitution of India has led to conflicts between the landowners, civil societies, the state government, oil companies, and even the government of India. When it comes to oil and gas exploration causing undue interferences and delays. In 2010, the Nagaland Legislative Assembly passed a resolution conferring itself with the power to make laws and regulations with respect to oil and gas sector. The Nagaland Petroleum and Natural Gas Rules and Regulation 2012 was subsequently passed by the NLA in 2012, wherein the Nagaland government issued expression of interest for 11 oil and gas blocks in Nagaland. The central government, i.e. that is the Government of India, termed the NE and NG Rules and Regulation 2012 unconstitutional and invalid, citing that the oil and gas sector comes under the union list. Nevertheless, the government of Nagaland awarded the Champang block to the MOGPL, an oil company, which resulted in the Lotahoho filing a PIL in the Kohima bench of the Guwahati High Court. The matter between the state government and the Lotahoho was resolved with the signing of MOU. Since November 2018, when the Kohima bench of the Guwahati High Court filed a suo motu case against the NNPG rules 2012, all hope of exploration and production activities of oil and gas in the state stopped. However, to find a way to resume oil and gas exploration activities in the state, the Union Minister of Petroleum initiated a bilateral agreement with the state government, the MOU of which is expected to be finalized and signed very soon. Since exploration activities may take around 5 to 7 years, the mindset of the stakeholders, including the state government, should be on monetizing the existing oil fields and get immediate returns. It will be pertinent for the state government to formulate policies within it can have a participation interest of 10% to 50% in the already existing oil fields like Champang and Tisori. Mr. Speaker, sir, the most important part is coming. Last but not the least, our elders have the wisdom to preserve the natural resources for the upcoming generation. But today, oil is no more considered to be the prime source of energy for the future. Owing to climate change and advancement in technology, the world is shifting towards cleaner and sustainable and renewable energy. India has also achieved 10% ethanol blending, which is expected to reach 20% by the year 2025, a vision of the Honorable Prime Minister. The Hydrocarbon Vision 2030, a brainchild of Honorable Prime Minister, envisions that the entire Northeast is going to be connected to a national grid and make the Northeast the hub of compressed natural gas, that is the CNG. This will provide CNG stations, green fuels for vehicles, and also piped gas connection to households for cooking and heating. With the world shifting towards cleaner energy, even Oil India Limited has in April 2022 commissioned a plant in the first hydrogen plant launched in India in Jorhat. This was what we have discussed also with the Honorable Chief Minister in the presence of our Honorable Chief Minister in his government. For producing 99.99% pure green hydrogen, Oil India has also successfully tested its hydrogen-powered bus with zero carbon emissions in Pune, which can run 450 kilometers on a single refuel under the SNEA Start of Incubation project. Electric vehicles, battery-operated vehicles, are expected to replace the petrol and diesel run vehicles in the coming decades. The use of golden liquid. Mr. Speaker said the golden liquid is referred to kerosene, diesel, petrol. The use of golden liquid is expected to drastically come down by 2035 throughout the world, including India. There are even projections that by 2050, the use of fossil fuels like oil and gas could completely come to a stop. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, when we talk about 2035, today we are living in 2022. Supposing we start and the government takes a step to initiate oil exploration also, we hardly have 13 years. All the 13 years, say 7 to 8 years is for study purpose, experimental purpose. Extraction can be done only for 5 years. So why to stop oil for the future? By 2035, supposing the world decides that we are not going to use this golden liquid anymore, what will happen to our oil fields? What will be the use? Mr. Speaker said, today, if we don't wake up, it's going to be too late. Tomorrow, maybe by 2035 or 40, we may still want to use, but due to the climate change, in order to survive, we will not be allowed to use this golden liquid anymore. So today, we need to give a wake-up call to our so-called national workers. They should not stop oil exploration anymore. We need to set up a team, a cabinet subcommittee, with the department in charge to go and explain these things to all our national workers so that oil exploration can start with immediate effect. Or else, the more delay we go, the more we're losing. So therefore, sir, with even the core oil companies like Oil, ONGC are now shifting heavily towards production of cleaner energy. It is high time for us to wake up, and it is high time for the state government to take concrete steps to resume the oil and gas exploration and production in Nagaland before this golden liquid becomes redundant and loses its utility and thereby its market value as well. Thank you, sir, for